dark, looking for the perfect mark. You think you found the one, so grip the handle of your gun and move to block your target's way. Hide your shaking hands as you tell him your demands. He doesn't seem to care. He merely grits his teeth and stands there. Show him your pistol to persuade. But suddenly he leaps at you, a blur of motion. Unexpectedly, your muscles tense, your fingers twitch, your pistol screams. So run away before they find the seed. Oh no, there's never any safety for a thief. Sitting in your home, shivering and all alone, your eyes are on the door, waiting for the cops to come for you and take it all away. Yet they never do. The only thing that visits you is solitary blame. You didn't even know his name, but now you put him in his grave. And sometimes in the shadows you could swear you see him staring silently. His face is grave and his eyes appear to gleam. There's never any comfort for a thief. Oh no, there's never any comfort for a thief. Every moment is filled by his stand. You're shaking, repeating, he's not really there, until at last you cannot stand the eyes that pierce within. You turn yourself in. But even
everybody. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, the caster / Nathan Blades. Welcome to the new Caster Twitch channel. Once again, I have missed you all dearly, evidently. I am very, very excited for this one, because this is a bit of a... Whoa, let's make sure that I'm not getting audio doubled in my ears. No, we're fine. I'm very, very excited for this one, because this is the grand return of Arcana Core. Not only the I guess only major campaign that the Neon Caster Twitch channel has done, but a setting that is quite near and dear to my heart, put together with some of my closest friends. And we get to revisit that world again, remixed and different, with 4 fantastic, delightful, dare I even say, radiant new players. Let's go from the top of the list that we have here. Please, everybody, welcome to the stage, J-Man.
Hey everyone, I'm the J-Man. You might know me from the Stabbiness Twitch channel, in which we do a lot of TTRPG streams and on occasion some chaotic video game streams. Today... Oh, actually, should I introduce who I'm playing yet?
Ooh, no, we can introduce the characters when we get into the
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone so much for coming out, and I'm really excited to play with a different group for once.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to... I always talk about, when I do these one-shots and cast openly, that I find that broadening my own horizons by playing with more people makes me a better GM and player, so I'm always delighted to play with somebody new.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Brandy. Hello, Brandy. Hello.
Hi, hello. I'm Brandy Rose. You guys might know me from the podcasting world, where I have been, not in my own words, expanding my podcast emporium. So every single day, Monday through Friday, there is a new episode out of one of my shows, and soon that will be Sunday through Friday. So if you guys are interested in that, all of my stuff is always at the Brandy Rose on Twitter. That has my link tree and links to all 3 of them, or 4, 5? Jesus, how many shows do I have? Probably 4. I think 4. That's my final answer. 4. And if you don't know me from podcasting, you probably know me from Twitch, where I stream TTRPGs, mostly with Utopia, Well-Seasoned Stories, and soon Transplanter RPG. Or you might know me from the my own Twitch channel, Cutest Patoot, where I am constantly streaming new dating sims. I did not set out to make that my brand, but we did discover that I am, in real life, basically a walking anime character. So if you ever want to hang out and see those, I stream almost daily, especially for Halloween. So there's a lot of places you can find me, and I'm really excited to be here and play this new game system that I was not familiar with before I applied. So I'm really excited.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna rep my own game system, you know, whether it's one that you've written yourself, it's near and dear to your own heart. But yeah, you've been crushing the game recently. You've been making so many good things. Please do, and I will say this multiple times across this entire session, please do follow these fantastic people on Twitter so you can keep up with all of their fantastic work. Yes. Next up, we have the delightful Ariana. Hello and welcome.
Hello, my name is Ariana Abraham. I really don't have anything to promote. I have a Twitter. You can catch where in various projects I voice acting. I'm just here to be a casual gamer. So
we're all casual gamers at heart.
Exactly. So yeah, just here to have fun and just immediately excited just to be here.
This is like your second ever actual play session, huh?
Yes, actually. This is my second. This is my second one. Yeah.
It is always genuinely and truly a joy to play tabletop games with people who haven't played that much tabletop, because they think super outside of the box and come up with stuff I would never ever think of in a million years. So
Ooh, exactly.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm very, very excited. And last, but by absolutely no means least, we have Jacob. Hello, hi.
Hi, I'm Jacob Lefton, and I also have nothing in particular to promote, except you can catch me on Twitter at WaterMosaic. And yeah, I'm also here mostly taking a quiet spot in my life because I have a little baby, but this game seemed too cool to pass up, so I was really excited to join.
I mean, we've wanted to have you on the show for a while, and just kind of like scheduling and things didn't quite line up. So I am genuinely overjoyed and honored to be able to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me make sure that my last bits and pieces, there we go. Right, with everybody's introductions out of the way, we do have some fantastic credits to share, because this session and Arcana Core as a general campaign is put together by many people. Gosh, across the previous campaign, we've had a long list of fantastic artists who have helped give the world of Arcana Core color and vision and energy. But we have 3 new fantastic artists four new fantastic artists who we've commissioned to be part of the process. Kid Sosa, Empoleon, Giovanni Chad. And I did not put Viral Zone's information on screen. My ass is exposed for not putting everybody's details up. I will make sure to get everybody's Twitter handles available in the break, so when we return I will be able to actually go and share Viral Zone's Twitter handle as well. But those 4 fantastic people have given us the tokens for our delightful players today. The system that we will be playing is Heartbeats in Perfect Sync, designed by yours truly. Thank you so much for experiencing the system. If you are interested in this game, you can obtain the game yourself by going to sixofspades.itch.io. The game is only $5, and for 7 pages of delightful shonen adventure fun. Actually, I should probably go and talk about what Heartbeats in Perfect Sync is. That's an important thing to do. You can tell I'm very organized this evening. So I was inspired by this game from the likes of Kingdom Hearts, The World Ends With You, Under Night in Birth, and various other urban fantasy JRPG titles. Your Personas, your Tokyo Xanadu's. That's a bizarrely deep cut. I just was enamored with the idea of ordinary people pulling oversized weapons and going and slamming them against the faces of monsters that have emerged from people's hearts. I figured that game would be best, that kind of experience would be best provided using somebody's heart rate as their both health and dice pool, which sounds very mysterious, but we'll explain that as we get into it. Last but by no means least, thank you so much to Dana Lexa, Author X on Twitter, for the Roll20 character sheet that they made specifically for this game. This API did not exist on Roll20 previously, and she put it together because she played the game and enjoyed it so much she made it. And genuinely, that touches my heart. That blew my mind. Okay, enough gushing about fantastic people and myself. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's move over to the screen. There we go. And let's go and get the theme music on that we've not heard in a very, very long time, but it's nice to have it back with us. Well, okay, so there was a lot of things that happened last time on Arcana Core, kind of months ago, actually. So maybe it's for the best that we, these 2 individuals that you see before you, Clematis and Gloriosa, explain what kind of happened last time previously. Indeed, so the previous campaign, well, it was very much your standard Persona spin-off affair, really. It was very derivative, I must say. 4 teens going on adventures, diving into people's mind palaces, defeating monsters that were a physical manifestation of the darkness in their hearts, so on and so forth. You already know the story. We don't really need to explain it again, especially since, at the end of it all, they decided that actually they would rather not be the protagonists of the story that we were creating for them, and instead decided to just storm off. on the season finale and everything, we just had a boss fight prepared and then they just walked away. It was honestly really rather rude. And to be honest, we were kind of discouraged for a while. We figured, well, if our actors won't stay on the show, then how will we capture the hearts and minds of the general internet and various other people out there? So we decided actually to kind of do a bit of a do-over, a bit of a spiritual sequel, a gaiden, as they say. Those kind of things are incredibly popular these days. As well as, animes like Jujutsu Kaisen and things like that, people with really specific powers getting into puzzle battles and stuff. Yeah, that's apparently what people are particularly interested in now in this form of storytelling. So we pulled a few strings, got a few people involved, and we've kind of created a new story for you all. Which, hopefully this time they'll actually kind of, embrace the story. Actually kind of, believe in the fiction. Be the protagonists of their own story. Although I suppose explaining this all aloud is maybe giving them the suggestion that they could possibly rebel, which I really honestly hope they don't. We don't have that whole debacle happen again. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're keeping it together. Right. Enough of us babbling. We should probably go and introduce the various bits and pieces and all the characters that we're going to be meeting today. We like to go and introduce these things one by one, just to give everybody the opportunity to get to know them in such a dramatic fashion, indeed. So, let's start off with the first one, in a bookstore relatively similar to the one that you saw ourselves in now. What an absolute train wreck of introduction. There we go. So, we do indeed see ourselves just outside a bookstore very similar to the one we had just seen. It is a relaxing, I would say, Saturday early evening, around the time where a lot of stores are preparing to close. And we see the proprietor of this store, one Rei Atsume, preparing to close up shop for the day. But unfortunately, one of the particular customers of the store is not particularly interested in leaving just yet. But we'll let Rei Atsume introduce themselves.
Yes. So I will be playing Rei Atsume. I'm already very in love with her. As for her vibe, think very Eve from The Mummy. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, but everything is burned into my brain. She's closing up shop. She's trying to. She would have started with doing some normal duties and just kind of like glancing up here and there, being like, it's okay, we close in like 10 minutes, it's fine, don't, to herself, just like, don't go 100% just yet. And she'd start passive aggressively cleaning closer to the person who is not leaving. It would then probably not work, and it would graduate to her she's cleaned up the whole store. Everything is tidied, the displays have been folded away, everything that was outside is now inside or in its proper storage, and she is leaning on the counter with her chin in her hand, staring down the person that is not leaving, just staring.
Indeed. When you gave that 10-minute warning, the rather well put together, quite posh teenager continues to kind of fret over about the 2 or so books that she's already carrying, and is kind of like desperately flicking through a third and sighing.
So she would just like look over and be like, books don't have legs, so they tend to still be here the next day.
I know. It's just that I am going to buy these. By the way, it's not. I'm not trying to make your life more difficult. It's just that, oh gosh, I guess I'm a little bit indecisive at the moment. And she looks at you with the kind of eyes that you know are saying, please hear me out.
Kid. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and I can put the other one on hold for you if you want. Don't worry about it.
Well, actually, I suppose you would probably best know what book in the store would be best for the current circumstances that I have going. And she wanders up to the counter and plops 3 hardbacks on the countertop. One that's kind of like, let's say, how to handle high school interpersonal relationships. Another that's kind of like the highs and the lows, how to navigate social drama, and a third that seems to be a fiction book, Diaries of Me Not Admitting My Crushes.
Oh boy. So Ray has said both of those oh boys out loud. Has spread the books out, because they were maybe plopped on top of each other, kind of overlapping. She spreads them out, has her hand, her hands are splayed across the titles, and she just looks up and she goes, well, some free advice. If you live your life following these things step by step based on something someone else wrote, this will not pan out well for you. So how about you tell me, because where do I have to be today? Nowhere. Why don't you just tell me what's up, and I tell you if any of these books is any good.
So the thing is, and then she launches into a very rapid and very elaborate description of the high school drama she is currently going through. It's hard to kind of catch all of the information, and she's speaking at quite a clip, but it seems to be about another friend in her school, a Yusuke something or other. He's training to be the superstar drag queen, and that's causing friction between them, balancing between performance life and personal life, yada yada yada, and it's gonna take a lot to even try and process this dump of information. So why don't we make that a dice roll, and then we'll see what kind of information you give on the other side. So in Heartbeats in Perfect Sync, all player characters have something called a heart rate, ranging from 1 to 10. This is kind of their health, and it's also their dice pool. Whenever you get into a sticky situation where the outcome might be uncertain, you roll dice, d6, six-sided dice, equal to your heart rate, trying to get as many 5s and 6s as you can. If you succeed, you'll be able to change your heart rate. You'll be able to make it bigger or smaller to your own desires, representing you becoming more or less emotional. But if you fail, I get to determine how your heart rate changes. If your heart rate gets too high or too low, well, we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
It would be so funny if this is what set me off from the beginning of the campaign.
Oh, yes. This will set you on the road, the emotional journey.
Oh, boy. Right. So that would be, in Roll20, that would be roll 5d6, and then do I put under 5, or do I just leave it straight?
So I have a macro available for you to roll, which should make things a little easier. There's Heartbeats roll in the macros tab. You can click the little in-bar checkbox so it can appear. Yeah, you got it.
0.
I
feel like it was not set up correctly. Like mine. I feel like I forgot to add something.
No, it's it would have been actually really, really cool if you could do the dice roll from interacting with the graphic. That's my bad circumstance.
Okay.
No, I explained that poorly. Apologies. So if you go to the macros tab next to the gear in the top right, and then there's a section that's Heartbeats roll. Yeah, there we go. And then
right. I hit roll instead of token. There we go. So,
let's see. At the very top, is that not there for you? Have I not made that available for you?
I don't see anything other than what I clicked.
Sorry that we're doing the tech support live. It's all good. So on that macro
part of the game at this point. Let's just pretend Ray is not the most emotionally intelligent person. This is all going on in her head. This is just mechanics.
At the top of the macros section, there should be a segment that has like a little D20 icon and heartbeats -roll. That if you click that die there, will let you roll 5d6 like this. If that appeared for you at all. Oh, that is working incorrectly too. We found it, and apparently the text is... I swear I managed to actually change this so it worked correctly, and it didn't save. It didn't save because I'm very smart. Once more into the breach, my friends.
This is all part of just TTRPGing anyway. So this is... In-game, we can even play this off as like, this is just her having thoughts and letting them kind of pass her by as she figures out what to grab.
Good God.
All right, cool. So I click heartbeats roll. When it asks me what my heart rate is, the resting one that I have on the icon is 5, so that's what I put, correct?
Exactly that. You start with 5.
And then bonus dice?
0. We're not adding
0.
anything right now.
Correct.
We're not making it fancy.
Perfect.
So we had 2 successes.
This is better. Yep, there we go.
5 and a 6. So this is a simple thing, just kind of listening to this information. So I get to set a difficulty. I should have set the difficulty before we rolled, but the difficulty would be 1. We only need 1 success here to be able to do the things that we need to. So you've succeeded. Excellent. You've managed to process all this information, and you're able to go and give her what you think is apt advice.
All right. I look down at the books, and I'm patting my nails on them, and I look up at this teenager and I go, have you ever tried, I don't know, telling this person how you feel?
I mean, I tried, but then we all start talking about, you know, different makeup brands and things like that, and that's sometimes a bit more interesting. So I enjoy talking about makeup instead, and entirely forget to make the whole big confession, she says, waving her hands nebulously.
Boy. Well, in my tried and true, which is a straight up lie, by the way, experience, let it happen naturally, you know? Just enjoy your time with this person. I still recommend the fiction thing because, you know, this book it's entertaining. I would maybe lay off the self-help books until you hit an age that has at least a 2 or a 3 at the front of it. Until then, just kind of enjoy fumbling your way through this. You don't get to do this again. So, you know, take the fiction book. I'll put the others back if you don't want them. But there's no problem here. This is your friend. Spend time together. Maybe you'll spend more time together. Maybe you won't.
Well, that's super nice of you. Thank you. And you are now allowed to... So now that we've succeeded in our role, one of the bonuses is that you get to adjust your own heart rate. You can knock it up 1, down 1, or keep it the same if you would like. So would you like to change your heart rate?
Yes, I do. Just because I can and it looks fun. I'm going to change it to a 6.
Cool. There we go. Fantastic. And what kind of expression do you have as Marquis Rahim thanks you kindly for your time and leaves the store?
I look amused because it does bring back memories of what it feels like to be a teenager when everything that happens is a problem that needs solving instead of an event that is happening. And it's amusing because I no longer think that way, and it's been a while. So I'm amused as I tidy up the rest of the books and I put them away and finish closing up.
As you give a warm, knowing smile, the screen freezes and appearing big on text on the screen. Rei Atsume, no-nonsense bookseller. Fantastic. You can click to dismiss the pop-up. But with that, let's go and move to our next character. Ooh, we're going here. Like I don't actually know where we're going. We're going to a cinema in the Heights. We've got this vibe going. So, my mic volume is low, is it? Let me turn up my mic volume a little higher. Thank you very much for letting me know, Ruben. There we go. Yes, so the cinema, the Heights Megaplex Cinema in the Heights. The Heights are, as the name suggests, one of the largest hills in Jungsburg, the city where this story takes place. It is very, very bougie. All the biggest celebrities and richest residents of Jungsburg live here, including the largest, fanciest cinema, and including what he would describe as one of the largest and fanciest people in Jungsburg at all. A one Amsterdam silver screen.
Yes. Yes, he would.
So tell me a little bit about Amsterdam Silver Screen. In addition to the fact that their name is entirely wild.
Exactly. Amsterdam Silver Screen is, of course, a very haughty and very person who thinks highly of himself, especially the cinema. It is an art form better than any other art form. Yes, your art sucks, your drawing sucks, your writing sucks, because it has nothing to do with cinema. And cinema is the best thing that was ever made. Broadway sucks because it is not cinema. and he is very movie, just all about movies, all about the best movies. Even though he praises the more pop and mainstream as well as the foreign and niche and, you know, just the green state, because it's all just beautiful art to him. No
even
matter
trashy
if it's
movies
like,
are art, indeed.
Yes, even trashy movies are. Even adult films are art because they are cinema. So, exactly. He is a usher. He is just an usher, but it is a better job than any of your jobs because it is a cinema job. And I don't think I need to describe him. Just very animated, very, very flamboyant, very, very open in himself. He just loves it all.
You look across the megaplex, your domain, satisfied, content, and two people enter into the cinema. Even before they even get within earshot of you, just the look of them and the clothes that they're wearing suggest extreme money.
Ooh, nice.
Well, I think that we should go and see a horror movie. After all, this is the spooky season, and I never get the chance to go and see any horror movies on the island. Father doesn't like it. Well, I think we should go and see a romance movie, obviously. Why would anybody be so base as to go and see a horror movie? I mean, I suppose people as uncouth as you. This is why I'll be taking your job one day.
Oh my God. He will approach and not bow, because he does not bow to people. They are lower than him. He will say, you can always have two for the price of one, a horror and romance. Cinema is cinema, and the best cinema ever. So, two times the fun.
I mean the preppy boy. He's older, about university age.
Yes.
Kind of speaks up and like, well, that just won't do. After all, when it comes to the Commandant family, it is all or nothing, and I will have my way today and on all days. No upstart cousin of mine is going to dictate what movie I go to.
Wow.
What you now interpret to be the cousin looks absolute daggers at the guy, and then at you, being like, this is why you can't go and take slovenly, low-born people who just happen to be related to me anywhere. You should have stayed back on Elysium Island where you belong.
Oh, shall I kick them out?
She's like, yes, please, immediately.
Sorry, apparently you are not good enough to be in the cinema, and I will kick them out.
Wow, absolutely. Okay, great. How do you go about this? Is this going to be a kind of verbal lashing? Do you grab one? Do you kind of like gently push him by the arm? Do you judo throw? What go on here?
Oh, okay. I don't want to judo throw. But as I just light pushes, I will explain to him the important history of cinema and how it should be respected and everything. Just a whole diatribe about cinema and its importance and everything else, and how you need to appreciate it, and only the highest of elites enjoys proper cinema.
Yeah, this feels like this definitely feels like this is going to be a roll. The outcome here seems kind of uncertain. How about you go and make a roll for me, please?
Is it possible that?
Oh yes, you're currently your tech is unfortunately playing a bit of mischief, so I'll roll for you. If that's okay. No problem. We're rolling 5d6 with no modifiers.
Yay.
2 successes. Yeah, this is also a one hit roll. This ain't gonna be too deep. So you achieve what you set out to do. So please go and tell me how you managed to get Quinn Commandant Posh Bastard to leave your cinema.
I'd say good day to you, sir. And like slowly push him out. I just want to push him out.
Mm-hmm. As you, with each kind of like gentle push, it's like, well, I've never behaved in such irresponsible, brutish behavior. Door slam.
Closed door very gently.
Charlotte whirls round to you and is like, and that is how you do fantastic customer service.
Yes.
I will be taking one ticket to the sappiest romance movie you have.
Exactly. I will point her to the check cashing people so they can give her her ticket, and then lead her to the theater.
And as you kind of like walk away, the camera kind of like zooms into the background, and we see Quinn pressed up against the glass doors, and there is burning revenge in his eyes, absolute malice and rage. And as we get like a close up on his eyes, we get similarly to before. Amsterdam silver screen, conceited cinema attendant.
May he pose fabulously.
Fantastic. Right, where are we going next? Keeping it whistle stop tour while I go and move all these bits and pieces around. Bear with me. To the void with ye. Oh, we are going to the ice rink next. Yes. We want these vibes. Located in the downtown area of Jungsberg, the ice skating rink is actually, it's seen better days previously. Back in the, 2000Xs, the place was absolutely hopping. Ice skating was definitely the most popular sport around. Many tales of daring do, of teams working together to achieve great heights, tournament arcs occurred in this facility, but it has since fallen out of favor and has become relatively quiet these days. Those who continue to actually skate here tend to be diehards, those pursuing the greatest heights of the art. And in an interestingly similar fashion to Ray's evening, there is a certain Zamboni driver who is patiently waiting for somebody to finish up their practice routines. One Walden Slipson.
Walden a man who is rather large and quite old, at the age of, let's say 58 at this point. He has continued working in this ice rink for 25 years now, and every day he comes by and he just mops the floors basically, and he rides a Zamboni around and cleans it down. But sometimes there are folks like this who just like to chill out. Sometimes it might be people who just come by and do like a little bit of ice skating or some secret training to get an upper hand on their hockey skills or something like that. And he just sits there and silently watches, leaning against his Zamboni, waiting.
Before I forget, Mr. Silverscreen, you have the ability to change your heart rate if you like. Would you like to shift it up by up 1, down 1, or keep it the same?
Can I shift it up 1? Sorry.
Absolutely. Let's do that for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Skating in the middle of the ice rink is a young teenager, about 15 years old. They are what the kids would say drip heavy. They are wearing a very light, large, oversized hoodie with a kind of like peacock feather print lining, and they are pushing themselves really, really hard to do their best. They are spinning, pirouetting, doing laps around the ice rink as fast as they can. They're building up speed. They jump to try and do a flip and wipe out again. And this is maybe, I think, the 15th time you have seen them do that this evening.
Walden takes a good long look at this kid who has just completely ate it, like, so many times in a row now. And he continues to watch him, and then he just sort of lets out a hearty sigh, and then he trudges himself up into the center of the rink next to this kid who has just collapsed onto the ground. You.
And he's like, he kind of like looks up from the ice at you.
Walden, looks down at him for a few minutes and then reaches down a hand for him.
Thank you. I'll get it eventually. I know you're supposed to, clean up or whatever, right? Sorry.
That is right. He kind of like glances back at his Zamboni for a second and looks at this kid. What exactly are you trying to do now?
I mean, I've got to get this routine down. It's got to be perfect. I won't lose to him again. That red-headed upstart said that he'd never been ice skating before, and then he managed to outdo me in a stunt skating. I'd never seen him at any competition before in my life, and he just shows up and just... I won't lose like that again.
I see. He continues. He kind of like glances up and down at this kid. Tell me, what aura is this kid giving off? What's his vibe right now? Is it passion? Is it anger? Something like that?
This is the energy of a 15-year-old who has, for the last good few years, been almost locally famous for being incredibly good at something, and has now lost to somebody who he thinks is worse than he is and does not know how to handle that.
Seems like you're trying to glance into a new world entirely, young one. Have you considered that mayhaps you should try starting from the basics first?
But, I mean, I've spent so much of my life trying to do the basics. I think what I need is like inspiration. I've been working on all of this for so long, and it's just been, I'm in my own head. And I just maybe if I can broaden my horizons, see new things, then maybe I can achieve something new.
Inspiration, huh? He kind of sighs a little bit at that, and then he kind of glances around. And what type of inspiration are you hoping for? Something that'll help you dance in the air like some kind of pixie, or something that'll help you trudge in the ground like some kind of dirty mole?
The poeticness of this idea like baffles him for a little bit. He kind of like blinks a couple times at you. Well, mole sounds different. Yeah. Well, give me that mole vibe. What's the mole? And he starts to kind of like, I guess, like put his hands up in front of his face and do little digging motions as he's kind of considering the idea of mole.
He sits there and he looks at him for a good long while again, then his brow sort of furrows and then lets out a deep, long sigh. Will it get you to leave if I show you something that might inspire you?
Anything that will beat the upstart redhead.
Fine. Take a step back.
Okay. Sure, dude.
While the kid moves off, he goes over to his Zamboni and opens up a side compartment. The side compartment contains what appears to be various pieces of gear and other such things, just things you might need on the job, who knows. And he pulls out and he dusts off what appears to be a pair of ice skates. And he quickly swaps out his current boots for those. And he places himself on the ground and he then skates himself into the center of the rink once again. Watch closely. I'm only going to do this once, and I will not do it again no matter how much you ask.
Okay. So, I'm gonna remember this time to set the target number of hits first. I'm gonna ask you, are you trying to show him something simple, or are you trying to show him something that is like a Walden Slipson special?
He is going to show him something simple that has been slightly remixed into a Walden Slipson special.
Okay, alright. If you'll allow me, I would like this to be a 2-hit target roll.
Sounds good.
Alright, go and roll your 5d6. The macro should be working correctly now, hopefully.
So, he's gonna be using one of his special skills for this, actually.
Ooh, you're gonna be using one of your tags, absolutely. So to explain for the audience who do not know this game yet, character sheets in Heartbeats and Perfect Sync are very similar to the likes of City of Mist or Fate or Windrose, actually, because I have a feeling that there are a handful of people who are watching today who are familiar with the Windrose system. It is a series of tags. Our characters are built up of a series of tags that explain their kind of like mundane job, the gigantic weapon that I'm sure we'll see a little bit later, and 3 fighting styles that they might have. So what are one of these tags that you're going to be invoking here, Walden?
Walden has a few that could be just great for this. He has things like his triple axel jumps or the Lutz spinning kicks. But no, in this scenario, he asks for the inspiration of the mole. Walden will be giving him enforcement.
Ooh, yes. Yes. So when you use a tag, you get 2 extra dice for the roll, but you can only use each tag once per session. So go and roll me 7d6, or rather 5 plus 2 bonus with the way that the macro works.
Alright, heart rate is 5, and it gets 2 bonus dice.
4 successes. Ooh. Yes. So this is, if you beat the target by 2, you exceed in all caps, which is essentially a critical success. It lets you change the heart rates of other people in the scene, but because it's just you in the scene at the moment, that's not going to fire. But you do go above and beyond to show them what's what. Do you want theme music for this? Or do we want to save that for when things get spicier?
I think I'll save it for when things get a little spicier.
But I will actually go and put on an additional jam for you. Let's get some judgment music. Let's go.
Nice.
Go for it.
Walden immediately starts. He has a rather slow upstart, but as he keeps on going, his speed begins to pick up more and more as he skates around the ring. And then Reggie here just kind of looks and like, I'm sure he's like, he's just doing circles. That's nothing impressive in any way, shape, or form. And then in a near dang instant, Walden, almost scraping himself lower onto the floor, begins doing a strange maneuver where his nose nearly touches the ice, but yet he keeps on going forward. An almost insane amount of flexibility from this elderly man going through. And then Reggie sees it. His skates grind into the ice, creating a almost sort of chasm behind him, drawing strange patterns and shapes behind him, as Walden then slightly moves his hands across, furthering showing just how close he is to the ice, but yet he is refusing to eat it like Reggie had so many times before. He keeps going, and then, in an almost near instant, he flips up, does a slight twirl in the air, and lands into the ice again, creating an almost cracking effect into the earth. As he lands and he stops. And then he sighs and finishes thing.
Walden Slipson, Steely Zamboni driver. Do you have like a parting word?
He stops and he looks at Reggie here. Was that good enough for you?
Holy shit, dude. Don't you have to, like, clear the ice later?
Yes. This shouldn't be a problem for someone such as myself. Also, you are far too young to say shit.
Reggie, tilts his cap over his eyes. My bad. But, wow. I didn't know that was even possible. To go beyond in such a fashion. Oh, this gives me so many ideas. And rummaging around inside his, like, oversized hoodie, he pulls out a notepad and starts scribbling. Yes. And he just kind of skates off the ice, radiating gratitude. You can feel the energy from him, but he's now so inspired he forgets to actually verbally say thank you as he disappears.
Yeah. You said I get to change other people in the scene's heart rate, right? I would like to boost Reggie's heart rate.
Interesting.
Yes.
I will make a mental note of that.
Yeah, Walden does a deep sigh, and I am actually going to lower his heart rate by 1, if that's okay. He does a little bit of a sigh. Well, let's get started on work. He returns to his Zamboni, and he once again swaps out his shoes to his standard work boots, and then just begins doing work on the ice rink that he has recently caused a much greater amount of work for himself on.
But these kids need to learn.
They need to learn. Someone got to teach them.
We move on to our final player. Thank you for waiting while we've been doing all these intros, by the way. To the bowling alley in the center of Youngsburg, also in downtown. What was the vibe for this again? Hold on. Yes, thank you. Thank you, notes. You've saved me once again. Well, it would if I could actually find where the music was. It's fine. It's weirdly silent in the bowling alley. Ominous, even.
It's an interlude. Quiet part of the day.
Actually, yes. No, I like that. The bowling alley is what, from the camera's perspective, entirely empty as we hear kind of like a slow, like quiet heart rate and the kind of like gentle, calm, almost like meditative breathing as we hear the inner thoughts of a one Wick Herald.
So you see in the middle lane of the bowling alley, almost completely like flaming orange is Wick Herald. They are standing there kind of glamorously neon orange hair coming to a point, little round earrings, almost like bowling balls coming down off their ears. This popped collar from their bowling uniform, almost like a sport jersey, but it has a black stripe down each side, which goes seamlessly into their pants, which are also this flame color orange going into a gradient down to the floor. And they look almost as if they're a pyre burning up from the wooden floor here. And they're holding also a big, nearly glowing orange bowling ball that they're polishing. And just they breathe onto it a little bit more and polish some of the last of the dust from lack of use from this ball. And then they whisper into it in this moment of silence. They say, "All right, Mom, I promise you, we're going to get out of this place someday."
You feel...
And then they go...
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
As it like interrupting your thought, you feel like a tug on your sleeve. Mix Harold, they won't let me have a go. And the kind of like audio floods back into the scene as this bowling alley is actually bustling full of kids. For Wick Harold is not merely just an expert bowler, they are a children's bowling instructor. They won't let me have a go, it's not fair.
Chrissy, I told you, you have to wear your bowling shoes when you come out onto the floor here. Can you go change your bowling shoes?
But I like my shoes, and the kind of like adorable kind of like, what's it called, like Alice style shoes. They're cute, and they are also leaving rubber scuff marks like everywhere.
Do you see this? This is why you can't wear them here. It ruins the floor for everyone, and you can't slide anymore. You can't do it. The bowling like I'm instructing you. Look, just go change them, and then I'll tell Jordan and the others they have to let you go next, okay? Just promise me you'll get on your bowling shoes. Your mom packed them for you, or your dad, right?
Okay. It's fine. I do want to be really good at bowling. And then...
Well, practice
like,
makes perfect, but you gotta have the dress.
There's like a small, tiny, almost evil glint in her eyes. I'll never lose again.
We'll see about that.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. As she scampers off, continuing to leave scuff marks as she leaves the stage area. And her mom, who is a very, like, taut woman. She definitely looks like she's been pulled, like a rubber band pulled. Dressed very, very nicely. You've seen her actually at the library before, so you assume that she works there. I'm sorry about my daughter. She can be a handful occasionally.
Oh, it's really no problem. And just, you know, one thing that would be helpful is to, if you would help the children follow the rules of the place, and you can help her get her shoes on.
I mean, I'm always usually so organized, but usually so put together. She looks quite flustered. The moment we leave the house or the library, she starts acting like she doesn't know nobody, as I heard a child say the other day. Honestly, I despair sometimes. I'm trying to be, you know, a fun, with it mother.
Wick yells over their shoulder, just glancing over for a moment. Rick, Julie, don't throw the balls. You have to roll them on the ground. And then turns back. I'm sorry. It's quite busy here, but it sounds like, are things okay at home?
Not to vent or anything. She's now got her hands up, and despite her deep skin tone, you can tell that she's maybe flushed slightly with this social faux pas she has barreled headlong into. You seem to understand kids, and I wish I could. So much better. They won't let me do story time at the library. They say I'm scary. She like peers over her glasses, and the neon lights in the bowling alley kind of reflect in her glasses in just a way where she looks like she has demonic neon pink pinpoints for eyes. I don't know why they think I'm scary. I'm actually quite nice.
Oh boy. Well, look. This isn't the library, so one thing that would be great is if you brought snacks for the break. Kids love snacks.
Well, snacks make sense. I mean, they didn't like the various crudités and hummus that I brought, but you seem to have such incredible advice. Please tell me if you have any advice that would help me be more, that would connect with the youth. I would really like to hear that. And you just feel the pressure of that request upon you.
Maybe, do you have a hobby? Hold on, I just have to hang on one moment. I'll be right back. And Wick runs over to a kid who's like walked out onto the bowling lane and is like, okay, Charlie, come back here. You're gonna track oil everywhere. Can you just get out of the lane? And no, you can't walk over to the pins and knock them down. Charlie, there's equip machine, and walks out onto the lane and like picks up a kid and bodily carries them back to the head of the lane. I'm terribly sorry.
In that moment where you stepped away from Ms. Terpsichore, you had this moment to kind of collect your thought and desperately try and think of this answer to give. How about you go give me a heart rate roll, please?
What's the difficulty?
I don't think this is, well, do you how spicy do you want this to be?
Let's make it spicy.
Do you want to blow her mind, or do you just want to give her something where she'll just leave you alone?
I want her to leave me alone.
Cool. So we're just gonna go for a one-hit level difficulty here. So give me a roll, please, a heart rate roll.
Great. Just a regular. Says my heart rate is 10 right now, which I think is...
that's not true. That should be 5. Oh, right. The heart rate within the character sheet is unfortunately a little buggy. The character sheet is still being worked on. But if you go to the tab next, one left to the gear in the top right, there is an option for heartbeats roll that you can click.
Got it. Nope. Don't got it. Heartbeats roll.
Yeah.
Click it. What's my heart rate?
Your heart rate is currently 5. It starts out at 5.
5. And then hit
submit. Are you going to be using any of your tags for this roll?
No.
Cool.
Not for this one.
Just hit 0 on asking for any modifiers.
Okay. It just says input value. What's my heart rate? 5. Hit submit. How many bonus dice? 0. Submit.
2
there
successes.
We go.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes. So, you what advice do you give?
Oh gosh, we could do like a parent-kid bowling night here, and you could have like a little team made up with you and a couple of other of parents and kids, and that's a great way to like get to know them, but then you also have maybe the backup of another parent. How about,
genius.
Next month, first Thursday or something?
Yes, absolutely. I'll definitely organize that. And full in your heart that with this organized, you're going to get paid to keep that event going. So that's a nice bonus for you too. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like a kid's birthday. A little bit tooth pulling, but...
Oh, yes. That's definitely the double edge to that sword. But hey, work's work. And Evelina gives a surprisingly formal bow as she goes and chases her daughter, who is now, I think squirting... ketchup on the kid who refused to let her bowl earlier. So it seems like she's got this in hand. What's your expression as you watch Evelina leave the scene?
just like jaw agape and then quickly turn to another kid and yell, "That is not a basketball!"
Mid-yell, there's a freeze frame. We're Carol, board bowling instructor.
Amazing. I'm gonna raise my heart rate by 1.
I mean, it's been a pretty stressful endeavor already, huh? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And interrupting that, your phone goes off. It's a pretty ordinary, phone that you have, pretty on the line. But the message who it's from, well, it doesn't just have this is a message who it's from. Your entire screen is taken up with a logo that you recognize well. It is of course, naturally, the government organization Ryder that you and your friends work for in between your regular day jobs, like normal people.
Oh no.
You only know that they contact you when there is a meeting ahead, and meetings, especially on evenings like this, often mean extracurricular work. But at the very least, you don't particularly have far to travel, for the base for Ryder HQ is immediately below this bowling alley.
Is just a quick question. Is there another person on staff at the bowling alley?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There are other people who are doing their job, and a good thing too, because you're going to need to sneak into a janitor's closet while nobody's looking.
Yeah. Or I have to walk down the lane and walk into one of the machines that pick up the pins.
That's juicy. That's juicy too. I quite like that. That's fun. As you don't need to roll for this, but give me kind of a description as how you kind of pass the baton to another member of staff as you sneak away.
I spin around the counter and just tap my colleague Sarah on the shoulder, and I say, "Sarah, I hate to say it, I got a split. Important stuff coming up." Wave the phone not so they can see the logo, but just I wave it like, "Hey, it's really important. Could you bring them into a huddle on the, by lane 10, and we're gonna do a mock tournament because the real game is coming up next week, and we want them to be prepared. So I want you to give them a little briefing. Just go round them up all right now, and I'll be back as soon as I can, and maybe I'll even be there for the closeout so that we can give out little awards or something. I'll try to bring chocolates."
Yeah, there's a pause as they consider the information. Oh, split. Like an 8-10, like a 7-10 split. Oh my god, that's so funny. And they just entirely crumble at your very, very entry level pun as they kind of turn away from you and start walking towards the rest of the people, gathering them into a bulk, just cackling, absolutely losing it over your pun, giving you that level of noise as well, where everybody's focusing on them. It gives you the perfect time to sneak away. And as you do so, we get kind of a cut-ins from everyone else as they see their phones go off where they're based. So let's cut back to Ray Ray's picture-in-picture, real brief. Where are you when you get the phone call summoned for the line of duty?
Right. So as I am locking up the store from the inside, because if it works, the apartment that I live in is directly above the bookstore, and I'm heading up the stairs as I feel it start to ring and vibrate in my pocket, and I pause in the stairwell because I wonder if I'm going to get called in to the point where I don't even have time to go finish going up the stairs. So I'm in the stairwell as I get the call.
Silver screen, where are you when you get the call?
I am in I believe the break room of the job. Quickly just changing keeping on my usher uniform, but just messing with the locker, trading in some stuff in and out when I get the phone call.
Walden, where are you when you get the call?
Walden has probably just now stepped out of the stadium. He probably has his a gym bag hustled over his shoulder or something like that, and then he just gets the light buzz on his way out, and then just gives a and then heads there.
And we follow Wick. It's almost kind of like a vertical like slice as the camera follows Wick into the guts of the back of the bowling lanes as we see them go down spiral staircase and eventually reaches a really open area flooded with neon lights. It is indeed Ryder HQ, the base for these secret agents who defend the town of Jungsburg from fiction creeping into the real world. Greeting you in the kind of like main lobby of Ryder HQ are your retainers. Each team of Ryder is both assigned a Greek letter and retainers who are kind of like their mission control to look after them. It seems that there are a number of different teams that have operated before you because you are Team Theta. Not that you have actually run into any of the previous teams at all. It seems that they run maybe different shifts, maybe they're posted in different cities. But this is your team, and these are your retainers. Thank you for meeting us on such short notice. Indeed, we wanted to do a debriefing on your previous mission.
That's
Walden.
Go for it.
Walden.
Debriefing? Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
go for it.
Walden.
Please.
I was just complaining. That's it, like a debriefing?
Yes, a debriefing. Your mission previously was cut rather short on the other side of it. So we just wanted to make sure that we got all the facts.
Couldn't have waited.
I mean, possibly, but when it comes to matters like this, it's always best to make sure that the paperwork is filed and squared away. Would you rather of us have contacted you at 3 a.m.?
I would have rather you contacted me at like 10 in the morning tomorrow, not at the end of a shift, but it is what it is. Let's get it over with.
Well, we thought that we were being considerate to not interrupt you in the middle of your work. Anyway, let's get to this, shall we? As they kind of like usher you over to like a meeting room. And how to put this? Within, you all have definitely gone on missions before. This you know. You all know each other. This is an experience that you have shared, but it seems that the finer details of some of the missions that you've done before are hazy and you don't know why. It's almost as if it has not been formally discussed before between you. And in fact, as they kind of like settle in, there's kind of like an old school overhead projector that flicks on and kind of broadcasts on a wall. This like gigantic oil monster that seems to have like, think like Muck from Pokemon, but huge and kind of like it was trying to subsume the aquarium, and you will put a stop to it. Yes, thank you so much for your previous efforts in defeating your last nightmare encounter. But we just wanted to double check the finer details about how that battle went down. We don't seem to have it on our records, you see, so we figured that you might be able to fill us in. And we're just going to go round the table and say one thing that what happened on this previous episode of this anime that doesn't exist about this fight against this giant sludge monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I imagine what since it was taking place inside of an aquarium, and the sludge monster was essentially just expanding and expanding and getting larger and larger. They probably needed to like form weird pathways through to find whatever the hell the center of this would have been. Mayhaps like riding using Walden's Zamboni to like ride through freezing the outsides of things while tunneling through like a friggin' drill.
As you explain this, we get like layered on top in like translucent. The like this footage is being drawn in real time as you explain it. The Zamboni plowing through parts of the aquarium, riding on kind of like ice ridges it's forming, plowing through like walls of sludge to break through to other areas. Nice, I like that. Who else?
Ray like straightens her glasses on her nose, very like with the two fingers, like an anime character, and like the light glints and like hides her eyes, and she goes, "I did support on that particular mission since all of my weapons kept getting swallowed. So I was at a distance using my glasses and analytical skills to pinpoint the monster's weak points and kind of pre-calculate the trajectory of its attacks to help support in the others that were more close combat who were dodging it."
We get like a shot of you summoning your weapon, the sludge monster like essentially consuming it out of your hand. You sigh, resummon it. It gets swallowed again. You sigh. Very interesting. What else?
Amsterdam Silver Screen will stare at the screen in total PTSD of this thing because it tried to touch him and he was just basically running away from this monster most of the time. Just causing a distraction unwillingly.
You do not want this sludge monster to touch your outfit.
Exactly. But I'm trying to catch him in this, like, set up the camera, his camera weapon, and trying to catch it, but it keeps on getting closer and it's just too disgusting. So he's just basically running around in a circle as this thing is chasing him.
And Wick, do you have any final details? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. The only thing I remember from that whole fight is slipping on the ice from Weldon Zamboni and ending up in a bucket of fish. Having fish up my pants for days.
And we just get, like, with the most elaborate animation budget Sakuga of Wick just colliding into this bucket of fish from like 3 different angles in slow-mo rotating camera.
Does the like camera like click 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 that some animes do where it fades to black then back to the scene and fades to black then back to the scene.
Well, it sounds like you had something of an adventure. Thank you for submitting your report. And thank you so much for securing the tarot card once it was defeated. And almost as if like this part of the memory being drawn in for you live. We don't see what the final blow was, but we do see the kind of like sludge slowly recede into the shape of a person who was, it was the owner of the aquarium. Of course it was. In that kind of like Scooby-Doo moment. And then glowing and emerging out of their chest is a single tarot card with the image of the nightmare that you faced on it. And beneath it, let's see, what was that? It was the Hermit, I think. And it's like, yes, you managed to go and handle Mammon, the demonic embodiment of greed, so handily. And we look forward to you being able to do that again for other nightmare attacks in the future.
Walden nods.
But with all that out of the way, actually, to be honest, we just wanted to make sure it was of utmost importance for you to retrieve this solidification of pure fiction in any future nightmare encounters that you run into. We just wanted to stress that. No reason in particular, but just making sure that you remember the mission statement. Indeed, indeed.
How could we forget?
But with enough of that weighty matter out of the way, you should be enjoying the rest of your evening. Indeed, indeed, after all, it is the opening night of the Jungsberg Electric Art Festival, and you should enjoy the sights.
He kind of, Walden actually kind of raises an eyebrow a little bit and goes, "Was that it for the briefing? Nothing else? Just here for a recap?"
Yes, we just wanted to make sure that you had that information securely locked away, for our benefit just as much as yours.
I see. Walden has had to take a decent amount of time getting used to their little thing where they both talk back and forth like this.
It's insufferable. It's really bad.
I don't know, it's kind of cute. They have a Jesse and James thing going on. I love it.
And with that, we will excuse ourselves to the map screen, because I didn't actually show everybody what Jungsberg looks like as a coastal city. It is.
Oh my god.
It's a pretty messy coastal city, but it's yours. It's
Yeah.
you know, you are all currently in downtown. But the Electric Art Festival actually has a number of different events going on at the moment. It turns out that there are 3 major events going on. There is one in the industrial district. It seems that Jungsberg's like most beloved community center is doing a UV paint graffiti mural. Also, down at the Festival Coast, there is going to be a fireworks display next to the old Ferris wheel. It's always the old Ferris wheel, it's never just the Ferris wheel. And interestingly enough, at the ice skating rink, it seems that there is going to be a production of Glass Hearts EX on ice. The hit video game turned movie, now turned ice dancing show.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
So
I can definitely say Walden's interested in the last one, 'cause that's where he works.
yeah, any preferences of where we want to go visit for the rest of the crew? Let's take a vote.
To be honest,
Ice thing sounds cool. No pun intended.
To for ice skating, any counter offers, any counter arguments?
I'd love to see where Walden works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to see this little ice skating ring.
Ooh, yes. Can you all vamp between yourselves and you discuss, I think, where you want to go while I go and set up the scene for y'all?
Yeah, I imagine Walden was just like, "Well, if that's it, I'll be returning to my workplace then. I have plenty of things to do there, given the show that's coming up."
Oh, Walden, we haven't seen your cute little ice skating place in such a while.
You say that to him, and he just kind of looks at you for a few seconds. Hearing you interested in something that is not cinema related is quite interesting, I must say.
Well,
However,
this one's just cute.
I see.
Well,
I was just being nice.
Ray is like rolling her eyes and is like, I guess I don't really have too much going on anymore today. We should just stop by and pay you a visit.
yeah, I'm playing hooky from work anyway, so might as well keep it going.
I see.
They all sound so fulfilling.
I'm surprised, Wick. I assumed that you were quite, vigilant about your work spot. However, it is good to get time out every once in a while.
Well, you know, once your duty calls, as they say. So, here I am.
Fantastic.
I can understand that.
And before long, you all arrive back at the ice skating rink. I accidentally broke the background at one point and had to desperately fix it, but nobody saw, except for the fact that I told you. Oh no. Styled it out. Yes. The in the kind of like intervening period of time, the space has actually become a lot more hopping. There's been a lot more. The audience seating is really filled up now as people have kind of come in. There is the lights and rigging has been set up. There's actually a large kind of like I guess staging display feature that shows kind of like the character select screen of Glass Hearts EX. Which is a kind of like, you know, anime fighting game in lieu of the likes of Melty Blood at all. But everybody is a sword fighter. A sword lesbian, as the term is largely these days. Yes. And as the performance is kind of like starting to bustle, there's a palpable energy. Fortunately, since Walden already works here, the owner of the rink is able to get you all actually pretty good seats.
Oh, I pull out a cinema fan and fan my nose because the smell here.
It's a little crowded here, but the kind of like the sheer temperature of the place manages to stop it from being too. Actually, I don't really know how sweaty ice rinks get. I guess at like hockey matches, that would probably be
Smell
pretty bad.
persists. It does. It's quite persistent because there's often like there's nothing to distract from it because ice doesn't smell like anything. So if you have a smell, and since it's a very enclosed environment because of the controlled temperature, it does not air out very nicely.
Walden is entirely nose-blind to it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
Walden.
But the fans mostly hide his face. Make sure no one sees him. Here.
Walden glances at the rest of the group and looks up at the game board. I must admit, I've never seen something like this before. Quite frankly, I have not played many video games in my life. But he kind of tilts his head a bit. I suppose it's good to get a glance at something you don't fully understand.
Ray's like looking at Amsterdam, who could not look more out of place if we all tried, and is like, "Yes, I know the feeling."
Yes. He similarly, Walden is like internally going, boy oh boy, do I hope Amsterdam doesn't throw some shit because this isn't cinema.
Yeah, how dare they held an electric art festival and not have a cinema event going.
Exactly. This is horrible. This is offensive.
That's tomorrow. It's a whole weekend worth, right? But it turns out the cinema event is tomorrow, so you have to put up with it for today.
Exactly. It's like, Walden, you don't have. Wait, did you say the video game thing out? You said the video game thing out loud, right?
Yeah, he said the video game thing out loud.
Oh, I'll say, Walden, you don't have to play video games. They all try to become cinema eventually. And then keep flapping my face.
Well, actually, you've seen the movie adaptation of Glass Hearts EX because it did have a movie release.
Exactly. So
it's
just watch
natural
the cinema
endpoint for all things.
Exactly. Superior.
Gosh, there have been a number of fighting video games that have been turned into movies, huh?
Oh yeah.
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that at the time, but now, like, yeah, Tekken the movie was certainly a thing. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
Wick is just sitting there with like an olive green knit cap shoved over their hair and shivering a little and looking over their shoulder every now and then a bit nervously, hoping that nobody recognizes them.
Oh, you're trying to lay low.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be teaching kids how to bowl right now.
Very true. You would figure that the the people that would be most invested in that would be at the bowling alley, but you never know. There might be
You never
another
know.
person playing the
Sneaky.
game.
Walden looks over at Wick, noticing the very apparent shivering. Are you cold, Wick? There are some safety blankets within the locker rooms that I can go and get you if you wish.
No, I'm fine.
How fine is Wick looking right now?
Wick is blue-lipped.
Oh, no.
Oh dear. That's scary. Walden looks... I will be back shortly. I will go get a hot drink as well.
I will stop Walden from coming, and I'll just be like, Wick, come sit here, and I'll get put Wick between me and Walden and kind of like hug us for body heat, you know, like squeeze up against them. How's that feel?
Nice. That's nice.
It's just cozy. It's just cozy. In that kind of like cozy moment, the lights dim and stepping onto the Oh, yes, I can actually do this because I have the token art for it. That's good. Hold on a moment. Sorry. I was like, I guess I'm just going to use this token, and then I realized that this is an entire campaign, so I have alternate tokens available.
Yay.
Yeah, stepping onto stage is an ice skater that has a kind of like posture that Walden recognizes, but the outfit is one that they don't recognize. It has almost kind of like a Vegas-y feel. There's a large crown adorned with cards and dice and like 777 in huge letterage. An elaborate sunglasses cover this figure's face as they step out onto the stage, and they announcing like over the tannoy, please welcome everybody to this event of Glass Hearts EX on ice. Leading our lead skater, please everybody give a warm welcome to Reggie Mendoza as the Norns. And there is a rapturous round of applause as Reggie comes back on the ice in costume. Also featuring, unfortunately, there's kind of like a down tempo. Unfortunately, there was one of our skaters. Unfortunately, had something of an accident, and we had to get in an understudy. Fortunately, there is an up-and-coming skater in the business who was very willing to take on the role. Please welcome to the stage. Oh, and I should probably go get nice art for them as well because we have the option. Gosh, we can. We have a. And somebody watching in chat is going to be really mad that I did it, so that makes it even better. Hold on.
Oh, chat, be nice.
Mad in a good way. It's fine.
Okay.
While you're grabbing that, Walden just like sees that kid from earlier, and he's sincerely wondering himself, was he trying to learn to ice skate just so he could play a fighting game in the middle of an ice skate rink?
One wonders. Please welcome to the stage the glamorous understudy who will be assisting Reggie Mendoza in this production, Shinichi Mori. And another figure dressed in a large top hat, a monocle, and weirdly like a comedy moustache. Also skates onto stage, does a twirl, poses for the audience in a way that Reggie did not because the performance hasn't started yet. And the audience just starts applauding, and Reggie is looking absolute daggers at the other skater on the ice. And Walden, you get the impression that this is the red-headed kid that Reggie was so angry about earlier.
I see. Well, I wonder if he's gonna do any better.
The like performance starts, and it starts off, you know, reasonably graceful. That you can tell they're matching each other's pace and everything. But then over time, it starts. You manage to pick up Walden as somebody who's seen a lot of ice skaters before. That Reggie's pushing themselves too hard to try and like outdo the other skater, and then is then becoming kind of like sloppier as a result. And that sloppiness is making them frustrated, so they push themselves harder still, and it's starting to kind of go a bit all over the place. And at this point, everybody can tell that it's kind of going off the rails.
Walden, is this what
Boy.
ice skating is?
Walden raises an eyebrow at Reggie in the middle of the ring and looks over at Amsterdam. Standardly, I would say no, but sometimes, just sometimes, there is something I would like to call the rink jackass. This is what is happening right now. He crosses his arms and watches. Looks over at Ray, who he heard was about to say something.
Yeah, this is reminding Ray very much of the like adolescent drama that she had to deal with back at the store, and she's just like looking over it and being like, well, I don't know much about this, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna lose them points.
Most certainly, yes.
Actually, Ray, as you say that this reminds you of the kind of emotional friction that you saw earlier, you kind of stare, and through your, maybe it's your glasses, maybe it's just the fact that you've encountered weirdness before, but there is an odd energy in this space. And forming between the two of them, even as they're kind of like skating around the scenery, you start to see this faint red line that is connecting the two.
Interesting. And I push the glasses up and I like lean forward in my seat to take like a better look. And I out loud I just go, does anybody else see this? Which like probably not, 'cause probably from my glasses highlighting something, but I'm looking more intently at them. And is there a way for me to roll to see if I can see more clearly if I like focus on it?
Ooh, I think this will be for free because we're also pushing into the break in a little bit. But
yes.
As you call for the rest of everybody to kind of have a look, you don't see anything initially, but you start, I think, Wick, as you kind of like, you in shifting position to hold warmth, you look at the ceiling and you start to see kind of like these red lines, cables, dangling from the ceiling as well. This scenery wasn't around previously. This is new. And eventually all of you kind of realize that, oh, this is that weird feeling when there is the barrier between reality and fiction is thin. You don't know what it is, but whenever there is a blending of fiction creeping into the real world, there's something about it that tips it off, a synesthesiac sensation. I'm happy to let you say between you what that is, whether that's personally or across the board.
I'll call it breaking the fourth wall.
I mean, yes, this is kind of that in that kind of way, yeah. Breaking the fourth wall, but within the realm of the fiction of the game. It's very complicated.
Breaking the 3.5 wall.
Yeah.
Wriggle your way through there. You know, Walden sees this starting to happen, and his brow furrows, and he just sighs. And here I was hoping today would at least be somewhat more calm than the norm.
And crawling out of these cracks in the fourth wall. I like that, yes. Crawling out of the cracks of the fourth wall is a spider of some kind?
Oh, hell no.
Is arachnophobia
No, not at all. This is Ray out loud being like, oh, hell no.
We'll put it big. It looks robotic in some way. Like it's made of like plastic and cables. Like it's very Apple White Web 2.0 badumcha.
Oh boy.
And it starts firing these red strings at all sorts of things in the space. Between people, between objects in the environment, and you all collectively know that this is a daydream. It's not as strong as a real nightmare, but these are definitely signs that the blending between fiction and reality is afoot. And I think there will be where we will take our 5-minute break. Because this is truly an anime, we actually have an eye catch available. So I would like one of you to volunteer. Basically, I'm going to be playing the theme music, and after a couple of seconds, I want you to say Arcana Core in your most dramatic anime voice, and then we'll cut to commercial. Who would like to commercial? This stream is unmonetized. We cut to break, but who would like to say Arcana Core in a dramatic fashion for us?
I can do that if you'd like.
All right. Let the music cue in for a couple seconds, and then go for it.
Arcana Core.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.